Deborah Flores-Narvaez has been missing.
Shock to the family.
One of the families missing.
Finding her. That's my duty, it's my job.
We want to make sure that they're okay.
Police are looking through phone records and retracing her sister's steps.
Her car was found with its license plates removed.
An accomplished dancer.
They had a rehearsal.
She moved to Vegas to dance.
What she does is dance in
A cast member of Fantasy, the adult review at the Luxor.
She just said, we'll see you tonight. And that was it.
Just let her go.
I'm Jean Casares of In Session in for Nancy Grace tonight. We have just gotten in our hands a criminal complaint. This is breaking news. Affiliate KLAS out of Las Vegas is reporting that the ex-boyfriend in this case of Debbie Flores was actually charged with domestic violence allegedly against Debbie Flores in October. He's got a court appearance tomorrow morning. Nancy Grace producers were able to confirm. Now, Nancy's producers have been calling the Las Vegas Police Department. They will not admit that he was charged with domestic violence. They will not deny it. I want to go out to John Schaefer, program director in Las Vegas. News Talk 720 AM KDWN. John, what do you know about this alleged domestic violence case from October?
Well, from what we're hearing, too, from this police account that has just been released or just been discovered, apparently during that altercation, the ex-boyfriend, Blue Griffith, also known as Jason, grabbed her iPhone from Debbie. He threw it down. He pulled her hair. He knocked her down, kicked her, punched her. Also in this police account, there is a report that Debbie was pregnant with his child at the time.
All right, this is what we're reading out of this complaint here. It says that Debbie Flores actually in October went to the home of a girlfriend or ex-girlfriend of the boyfriend, and there she is. She meets Griffith, the boyfriend at the time. Debbie Flores, and the boyfriend start to get into an argument. He takes her iPhone, but the net result is she's got bruises in both of her legs, and some of her hair has come out. Let's go to the lawyers. Randy Kessler, defense attorney out of Atlanta. This doesn't look good, Randy.
No, it doesn't look good. Of course, you can't be guilty of one crime because you did something in the past, and he's just accused of that thing in the past. But, you know, this does change everything because the investigator's worst problem would have been if this was a random crime. And in Las Vegas, there are random crimes. People get drunk, people do crazy things. She's a beautiful woman. This changes the game and makes him much more of a suspect and much more a person of interest.
All right, but Jason Ocean's defense attorney, I got to side with the defense on this. I mean, just because they get into this domestic issue and there are felony charges that resulted from that, right, and it's a romantic triangle, that's what you see. She goes over to the girl's house. She's upset. She gets in an argument with him. He then starts hitting. She ended up with 2 bruised legs. But does that make a killer?
No, and as Randy said, and Gene, I appreciate the help on the defense side.
Well, I'm not going to give you too much help, right? Because Nancy's going to call me.
Yeah,
so you're not getting too much help.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But listen, you know, from the police perspective, they're obviously looking back at this, and the reason perhaps they haven't released any information is that he was a significant target, and they were aware of this, and you know, despite what, you know, going along with what Randy said, it certainly changes the playing field from their perspective. No, this doesn't necessarily make a killer, and a domestic incident doesn't equal that, but certainly it gives rise to the entire situation.
And
now that
he was the last person,
absolutely,
possibly,
yep,
that saw her alive. Let's go out to Diane in Canada. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Jean. I just wanted to let you know that you were one of my favorite reporters.
Oh, thank you, Diane. You're very kind. I only paid you $5 for that. No.
Oh, good.
What's your question?
Actually, I would like to perhaps give the advice over to the sister that if she were to hire a private eye and also a very reputable psychic, if perhaps someone could help in that field.
To Celeste Flores-Narvaez, who has been with us this hour exclusively, prime time on Nancy Grace's show. Celeste, you know, so many ways you could go, a private eye, psychics are used. Were you aware of domestic violence charges against this ex-boyfriend, allegedly against Debbie?
I did hear about that. You know, I will have to agree that everybody has been through their ups and downs in relationships. I don't know what to think of that. I did find out she was pregnant as well. I also found out that, you know, there was another person involved in a third-party relationship, but that really doesn't mean anything to me. The most important thing to me is that she's found and she comes home, and, you know, hopefully the investigators are definitely taking every single step possible into finding out who the person of interest is and following all the leads.
Celeste, was she pregnant when she went missing?
No, she wasn't.
But she was pregnant this fall?
Apparently so.
Okay. All right. We want to tell everybody also, this ex-boyfriend is not a suspect. He is not a person of interest. Police have actually said he is cooperating with them. But the more facts we have, the more we can try to figure out what this is all about. Let's go out to Pat Brown, criminal profiler, author of The Profiler. Have your thoughts changed in this hour?
Oh, now it's just getting worse toward the ex-boyfriend. I mean, he becomes more of a suspect. There's no way around that, especially if she's going to testify. We all know how that goes. Sometimes it's, you know, the court date is approaching.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. How do we know that she went to the boyfriend's house? That's something I'd like to know. Do we have a cell phone record going back and forth between the two? Did somebody see her arrive at his home? Did anybody see her leave his home? Are there any cameras around? So the question is it possible she went there and something happened, or is it possible she never actually went there and he met her elsewhere? So we just don't know that yet.
You know, Pat Brown, you bring up a really, really good point. There is a court date. Nancy Grace producers confirm. Court appearance tomorrow, felony arraignment on these domestic violence charges. Innocent until proven guilty, but you're right. Who would be the star witness? It would be Debbie Flores-Narvaez.
Debbie, last seen Sunday night.
Las Vegas showgirl Debbie Flores-Narvaez.
Mrs. Dance practice Sunday and a performance Monday. The world-famous Luxor Hotel and Casino.
Police say she was last seen with her boyfriend.
Her roommate calls cops Tuesday to report her missing.